Mark Pope's way of coaching his team is not going to let them overlook an opponent. And that stuff's going to matter, especially after a big win like the Wildcats are coming off right now. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Caleb Wilson. We're going to preview the Lipscomb game. We have a lot of conversations to have on today's episode of the Wildcats Today podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, writer and editor over at Kentucky Wildcats on SI. Joined, as always, by Carson Nash. Carson, we're going to Texas this weekend. That's exciting. I'm fired up about that. I think we're gonna make Austin regret letting us come. It's gonna be a good weekend. So, any Kentucky fans in Texas, in Austin this weekend, we'll be there drinking lots of Sprites.
Yeah, Carson. I think there's something going on this weekend in Austin. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but we're going down there for it. I think Austin's gonna regret inviting us down there.
Yeah, because we also have a crew of people that are also gonna regret letting down there, and that's gonna be. I mean, we're talking about Big Mike and Connor Hall in Austin, Texas. I think that's a bad recipe for anybody.
And John Payne Isley getting out and around in Austin, Texas.
And you don't want that. That's not something that you want if you want a city to be okay. So we'll be down there, excited about it. Carson, when I look at this Lipscomb game, and we're going to preview it, obviously the premise of this, I mean, the game's here soon. The premise of this show isn't really to preview the game. We'll do it for here a minute. But the point is, I have never, just everything that Mark Pope does, I shed a little bit of a tear. And actually, I'm sorry, Carson. I'm going to stop right now, and I'm going to bring up something else that I think we can't not talk about, okay? The Journey. Those of you that haven't seen those, The Journey, it's the video they make. Usually it's after big games. Or maybe they do it after every SEC game. I don't remember now, but it's definitely big games.
Yeah, they do it after a bunch of SEC games, but mostly bigger games. You won't see them after Lipscomb.
Yeah, but they're like 8, 10, 15-minute videos of just kind of what's happening. They're awesome. They did them last year. They get you fired up. First of all, there was 2 things I love about the video. Mark Pope walks in the locker room, and he asked his players what they noticed. Amari speaks, or Andrew Carr speak, give some answers. Hey, your leaders are stepping up. Lamont talked a little bit, if I remember that right. You hear your leaders stepping up. Then he kind of gives we're good. We're good. We got this. We know what we need to do. We know how we can win this game. We know what we need to fix. But the best part about it is, Carson, and I know you noticed this too. We haven't talked about it, but I know you probably saw the same thing I did. Mark Pope, in the timeout when it was 72-72, exactly what happened, he coached his team up for. Exactly. He said, if Cooper Flagg spins, I want someone to come help, go in with 2 hands and take the ball from him. That is exactly what Otega Owe did. Gets the steal, gets to the line, 2 free throws. Kentucky wins that game. That is elite, high-level coaching that we have not seen in Lexington for many, many years. That is different, Carson. What were your thoughts on that part of that video?
Yeah, I had heard that type of conversation before seeing that, like that had happened, but actually seeing that he did that and
literally exactly what happened.
When Coop isos and spins, go at him with 2 hands, steal the ball. That's exactly what happened. And the fact that the in-game preparation led us to that point shows you that this coaching staff is miles and miles ahead of what we thought that they were going to be at this point, and kind of what we had for the past couple of years. I mean, you don't see that preparation for Oakland. That was for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that stuff, and I'm not going to go off on a crazy tangent on it, but I mean, this is stuff to remember if this team goes on a run, because there's going to be a lot. I mean, it's just the basketball IQ is through the roof because Mark Pope is a literal genius. I mean,
and having to trust in your players to let them be the first ones to speak about what they thought was going on in the first half is huge as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's just everything about that's great. But what I noticed this week, we heard from Lamont Butler and Brandon Garrison today. The media did. And Garrison and Lamont Butler, here's the deal. Is Is Lipscomb a solid mid-major basketball team? Yes, they are. They're a solid mid-major program. I saw a mid-major top 25, and they were like 11. They're a good basketball team. They are.
They're top 130 in KenPom. They were the best ASUN team on the list.
Yes, they're a solid basketball team. Should they be able to come in and compete with us in Rep Arena? No, we're a better basketball team. But you wouldn't think that based on what Lamont Butler and Brandon Garrison had to say. Coach Pope is not letting this team overlook this game. You see it a lot, Carson. You see it a lot. You see a team get a big win. I think the week off helps a little bit. It'd have been different if we beat Duke on Tuesday and then played them on Friday. But, the week hangover from it probably helps a little bit. But Mark Pope is not letting his team look past Lipscomb. And that gets me fired up. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, this takes me back to that quote that he said before the season even started, where he was saying that we aren't going to overlook anyone, because when you overlook a team, that's when you start appreciating the beauty in sports, right? Because in sports, anything can happen on any given night. We've seen that time and time again. So just instilling that in your players and making sure that they get up for each and every game is huge, because like we've seen in the past, you don't want to run into a UNC Wilmington that could completely deter your season, because a quad 4 loss is very, very brutal when it comes to seeding terms. So just having that, and Pope, oh gosh, he's so positive, isn't he? He's just always so upbeat. It's so refreshing. But yeah, just him having the players believe in every game and come out with that fire for every single game and for 40 minutes every single game.
Yeah. It's just something. I wrote an article about it today. Actually, here, I'll just pull it up. It'd be easier to pull it up on my computer. But it's a quote from Lamont. And he said, this is the direct quote Lamont had about Lipscomb today. So let's read this real quick. I think Coach Pope put it best. He said, the next game is going to be the biggest game of your life, and that's how we have to treat it. Lipscomb has the power to come in here and beat us. We don't want that to happen, especially on our home court. We got our fans there. We're very locked in on this game. We're locked in on their personnel and their game plan to go out there and win. I mean, that tells you all you need to know. All you need to know. I mean, because first of all, you also don't want to be you see the players like, well, it's Lipscomb, man. Who cares? We're going to go out there and beat them by 20. People who give teams more motivation, who give them the bulletin board material. You're going to get no bulletin board material from Mark Pope and this Kentucky basketball team. You're not. They're going to respect every opponent. And I like that. I don't. I'll tell you this. I don't. Some people might like trash talk. I think there's times for it in sports. There's, of course, times for trash talk in sports. Kerr Kriisa, Duke fans giving him hell, and he plays with his mustache. Love it. Love it. There's stuff like that. Love it. But don't give a team an extra bit of oomph before a game. And I don't think this Kentucky team's ever going to do that. Ever going to do that. And that gets me fired up. When it comes to this game, Carson, if you want to keep talking about what, the preparation, you're more than welcome to do that. But when it comes to this game, what are you looking for? It's hard to find a lot we're looking for. You beat Duke. I'm looking for you to go out there and just keep playing good basketball. But is there anything in specific that you're looking for? I have one thing I'd like to see, but I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, my thing is, it's not a specific area or anything like that. It's more of, I kind of want us to get out to a fast start. I'm looking for a fast start tonight, because against Duke, we struggled a little bit at the beginning. Even against the game prior, we struggled a little bit to get going. So I kind of want to come out here and just smack them in the face and have this not be a contest from the get-go. Yeah.
And I'll tell you this basketball team can end games in 5 minutes if they want to.
Oh, yeah.
They can. They could end this game tonight in 5 minutes. And you could get Trent Noah and Travis Perry some minutes. We could maybe see a Derbyshire basket. You can end this game in 5 minutes. And I think, heck, you can do that against a lot of teams this year. Even some SEC teams. Just knowing the way this team shoots and the way this team, it gets out in transition, the way they defend, just everything about this team. You can beat a team in 5 minutes, especially a team like this. And I'd love to see you go do that. Get up 27-5 and just, obviously keep the foot down on the gas pedal, but you get the point. No, I mean, it's hard to come back from 27-5. I agree with you. I'd love to see that. The other thing, so we got a comment, and it's everydayer here on the podcast. So shout out to our buddy there, but that I a little bit disagreed with, and it was kind of talking about last show. Carson, you and I talked about how I don't think this team might not have a star. It might have a lot of just players that can give you an explosion on a given night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Carson, I stand by that statement. And the reason I bring that up is because I'd love to see Jackson Robinson play well tonight. You'd love to see him have 27. But I don't know. I'm kind of to the point where I think that I stand by that statement. And frankly, I would take that. I like the idea of you having to prepare for 5 guys rather than be like, okay, if we can shut down Robinson, we can win this game. You can't just do that because you got Owe, you got Carr, you got Williams, you got Butler who can beat you in a ton of ways. I like a team like this that is going to have a different best player every night because this team is so unselfish. They're so great at passing the basketball. I think I really believe that. And I think it's not a problem. I think it's going to be a reason this team's so special. So what are your thoughts on that, Carson?
Yeah, I think you might just be using the word wrong, right? We don't have a star. We have stars.
Exactly.
Plural. Yeah. So it could be an every night thing. Like one night Andrew Carr's going for 17. One night Lamont's going for 17. One night Colin Chandler will come off the bench and against a bad team and have a good night. I don't know.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is you have multiple weapons on this team who can score over 15 points, and your ball movement's so good that it doesn't even have to be the same guy that takes over a game.
Yeah.
Because who knows who's going to get the most open looks in a single night based off of the game plan and preparation for every game. So I'm very happy at where this team's at. I'm not sure that I love a team that has only one star. I would trade where we're at for a team that has only one guy because you're not gifted with moving the ball as much and getting open looks as they might be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's do this. Let's play this game. Okay. There's 3 teams right now. And you can maybe throw in Florida with Walter Clayton,
Mm-hmm.
Mississippi State. Look at their numbers. Leading scorer, Josh Hubbard, about 22 points a game. Next closest guy, 10 points. To me, then you go to Auburn. Auburn with Janai Broom. Auburn on the year, Janai Broom had like 80 last night. So I'm sure he boosted his numbers a little bit. Yeah, Janai Broom had a good game last night. Next best player behind Janai Broom, 12 points a game. He's sitting right now 20 points, about 11.3 boards. Let's go to Alabama. I haven't checked up much on Alabama to see because they have they played anybody? No, they lost to Purdue.
They lost to Purdue on Saturday.
I forgot about that. Oh man, they kind of got rolled. Wow, the 9 points. Never mind. Number looked bigger than it was. Man, Mark Sears only 17-2. So they're a little bit tighter there. You got it. That team actually. I think that Alabama is a good example of kind of similar. You look at this. Obviously, they lost a game they would have liked to have won. Mark Sears 17 a game. Wright Sell Jr. 12, Grant Nelson 12, and then you got the LeBaron Fallon, the kid's a freshman, 12 points a game. So, point being, they've got a lot of guys that are giving them a lot, and that's a good thing. They're a good basketball team. I like the idea of having a lot of, you know what I mean? You shut down Janai Broom, Auburn's a beatable basketball team. You shut down Josh Hubbard, Mississippi State's a beatable basketball team. You let them go for
Wade
37.
Taylor.
Yeah, Wade Taylor, you shut him down. You beat them by 80 every game. I mean, but you get my point here. I like the idea that it's not, you shut down Jackson Robinson, you win. Well, ask Duke, how'd that go? How'd that go for them? They did. Jackson Robinson played bad. Did they win? They did not. You can't do that to this team. And I think that's a big deal.
It's different. Here's the thing that people aren't understanding either. It's different to do this, what we're doing against bad teams, and it looked good still. But to do it against the Duke and still have guys like in double figures like we have been having the whole season, it's just different. That means you have enough guys capable to win you games that are big enough games against the Duke and Cooper Flag. To continue to do that and see the same numbers is very, very exciting.
I mean, because like look back at this again. Andrew Carr 17, Owe 15, Butler 9, Williams 10, Brea 8, Garrison 8. You have a lot of guys. It's not like it's 32, 7, 7, 4, 7, 11, 7, 3. Like it's, you're getting a lot of guys.
And that's against Duke and one of the best defenses in college basketball.
Exactly. You have a lot of guys that are giving you 8 to 15 and having a lot of guys that are giving you 8 to 15. It just it makes it harder. I mean, okay, I've got another example I'll throw at you here. Who's the best, would you say? Who's the best receiver in the NFL? Would you say Jefferson? You want to say Jefferson?
Yeah, I'd probably take Jefferson over Chase.
Jefferson?
Yeah. So
you can play a team with Justin Jefferson.
Even though I'd pick A.J. Brown.
Well, how's he doing for my fantasy team? Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. Shouldn't have said A.J. Brown. Yeah, that's on your fault. This guy lost to me in fantasy this week, and I'm the worst team in the league. You can kiss my behind.
I've dealt with a lot of injuries. I'm still tied for first.
I would flip you the bird, but probably this is a children-friendly program. I texted Carson the Grinch smile meme. He didn't seem to want to respond to that. But so my analogy here, would you rather have Justin Jefferson? Okay. You have the best receiver in the NFL. And then, okay, let me some mid guys,
Jacoby Myers.
It's actually, and this is when I tell you this, I swear on my life, I was literally in my head getting ready to say Jacoby Myers.
I can see it. I honestly can see it get ready to
I'm literally dead. That's actually absurd. I'm not bullcrapping you. that is really fun.
That's the chemistry you get here on the Wildcats Today
podcast. Jacoby Myers is a great example. Just those types of guys. Like some of these, they're solid. Like, would you rather have a team like that where you have the best guy and then you have some solid pieces, or would you rather have a team, that has Devontae Adams? You have Devontae Adams and another, I was going to say Garrett Wilson, but that's already a thing and it ain't working out well. But a Devontae Adams, give me more like top 15 receivers that aren't.
I mean, A.J. Brown's up there, but
he's too good. Probably the analogy, but you get the point. Is
Devonta Smith? How about Devonta Smith? Because I think
Devonta Smith. Sure. Point is, I've gone off on a tangent. We've gone into trigonometry here. Point is this: I would rather take a team that I've wasted 4 minutes of everyone's life. I could have said this, but you're welcome. That's what else you get here at Wildcats Today.
Andrew just wanted to talk about football.
Yeah,
because he beat me. He got lucky 1 week.
I know. Well, whatever. But point is, I'd rather take a team that has 5 guys rather than 5 or 4 and 1 guy, or 100%. Even 3 and 2 guys. I'd rather take 5 legit players that are capable of giving you 20 every night, but all of them are going to give you 10 or have. I'll take that over having 1 guy every single game. Now, I agree. You've got to have somebody that can go give you a bucket at the end of the game.
Clutch. I feel like that's different though. That's not that's clutch. Like can you take over when the lights are on? Yeah.
But I think that
Andrew Carr was that guy. Yeah. Right. Andrew Carr at the end of the game.
I think that Owe can.
Yeah.
I think that Robinson can. We are not.
Owe didn't. We are not out on Robinson. Of the game.
Huh?
Owe didn't score that much at the end of the game, but he sure did make a difference when it mattered.
And once again, we're not worried. I'm not out on Robinson. I was excited by the way he played because he played bad. Yes.
And we still won.
Yes. Now, I saw a lot of people. The other thing I disagree with is a lot of people saying, well, they put all their attention on Robinson. I don't know if I 100% agree with that. I'm sure, yes, they probably put a little bit more attention. I don't know if I don't know. I'm not saying I agree with that. What I am going to say is good players still score when all the attention's on them.
Yeah.
All the attention's on Hubbard and Broom and Sears every night.
Cooper Flag.
Cooper Flag. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Good players. I'm not going to take that as an excuse for a bad. Good players find a way. Robinson's going to be okay, but I don't know if I'm going to say, well, they put all the attention on him. Yeah. I'm not. He's going to be okay. I think he's going to dial it in. We saw it. He had 2 solid games start the year. He didn't. What was it, like 8 points and 14 points? Like he's okay in the first 2 games of the year. He's going to give you his 25 here and there. You're going to get some big games from Robinson. And I'd love to see it tonight. I'd love to see it tonight because we beat Duke by 15, 20 if he plays well. You know what I mean? He didn't play well. If he plays well, the score is, I think, more lopsided. So I want to see Robinson get kicking it here soon. Because I believe he can do it. We know he's a special player.
I agree.
So the reason for all that conversation for me was I want to see Robinson play well in this game tonight. That was kind of what I was getting at. So Carson, do you have any other thoughts on the Lipscomb game? I know you want to talk a little bit about Caleb Wilson, so give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I feel like we should bring up Jacob. It looks like Ognovich is his last name. I could be butchering it.
That's the other thing you come to Wildcats Today for is
name reading.
Poorly enunciated names. But to the Duke fans, they're probably gone, so they're not going to see this. But the Duke fans that came in and said that we butchered some of the names, you know what I can pronounce? Win. You guys can. So, but go ahead.
Yeah, we weren't when you picked us for popcorn reading in high school, everyone picked us for a reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jacob Ognovich is averaging 20.6 points per game. He is their main guy. I think we definitely have to key on him. It'll be interesting to see who they put on him because I feel like he's 6'8", so Carr might be a little too slow for him.
Yeah.
But Ortega's a little undersized. But I'd kind of like to see Ortega on him just to maybe disrupt him, make him play a little faster than he's used to. But it'll be interesting to see that matchup. And I think a big key for tonight will be Amari, because they don't have anyone in their starting lineup over 6'9". So I think he should be able to dominate tonight. And it looks like all their players are way more undersized than Amari as well, weight-wise. So he should be able to dominate in this one. So I'd expect a big game out of him. I'd tab him probably my preview MVP if we were doing that. But do you got any takeaways for tonight anymore?
I mean, he's got a couple. They've got a 6'10" guy and a 6'11" guy, but
they don't play.
They play about 10, 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And they are 210 and 220 pounds, respectfully. Like Williams is like, what, he's like 265, 60 pounds?
Yeah,
like,
268 bigger is what he's listed as. But
so good luck with that. But I mean, same thing. I'd like to see. I mean, it'll be Ortega or Carr guarding that guy. I'd like to see them. You know, once again, I like what we saw against Bucknell. We shut down their great player. I'd love to see you do that. Here's Cooper Flagg is a different type of best player. He's a generational talent.
Cooper Flagg's an NBA All-Star.
Yeah, so not worried that he had 26, especially because you won.
Yeah.
But shut down this kid. I'd love to see that. I would love to see you shut down this kid. I think that would to continue to prove, hey, we can shut down, a good players, a team's best
Not even necessarily shut down, just make them way more inefficient.
Or inefficient. Inefficient. Because, I mean, that kid, Williamson, whatever, for Bucknell, he was like 3 for 12. I'm like, 1 of 8 from 3.
Con Knippel had 14, but he shot 5 for 20.
5 of 20.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll take that.
Yeah. So, can't say Malawatch, but I can say 3-0. Duke fans can't say 3-0. But
yeah,
hey, if I went to Duke, I'd have been able to pronounce his name because I would be really smart. So there you go. All right, Carson, give me a score prediction. You already said Williams is your guy. Give me a score prediction for the game.
Yeah. So, and I'm gonna have to. So I'm taking Kentucky minus 22, and I alt spreaded that, so it's plus 105. So I'm getting plus money. So I'm going. I got Kentucky 107. I think they break the hundreds. Wow. I think, and I think Lipscomb's going to score 64 points.
That's interesting. I mean, their opponents, and that includes Arkansas, their opponents have scored 72, 76, 69, 80, 66 on the season.
Arkansas looks like me and you at the YMCA on offense.
I agree with that. And you want to talk about a way to win a bet every time. Go bet whatever team Arkansas is playing first half spread and put the rent on it because that hits every time.
Yeah, because normally it's like minus 14.
Yeah, and they're usually down 5. And then, we'll find a way to win. But I think that we score well. I think we score like 87 points. I think we win this game 62-87. That would cover your spread. And I think the MVP, I saw a stat that opponents 56% of I believe is what it was of points are coming in the paint or twos, excuse me, against Lipscomb. I believe that the Wildcats are going to win this game handsomely, but I also at the same time the MVP, knowing this team is beatable, taking it to the rim. I think Ortega always going to have a really good game.
Yeah, it's going to be Ortega. Ortega is going to be a player of the game, but I want Amari to be. Because Ortega can be. I want Amari to be.
Yeah, because I just like the way that he gets downhill. So I think Ortega has a good game. I'm eyeing him 15-plus points down on FanDuel right now. It's plus money. I like a lot. So I'm staring that down. But Ortega, I think, has a great game tonight. But honestly, I would much rather Jackson have a great game. But I think Ortega. Yeah, I do too. But I think that Ortega is the one that's going to play well tonight. That's my guess. So, Carson, any other thoughts before we get on out of here? Because I have to go to Rupp Arena real quick.
Yeah. So Caleb Wilson cut his list down to 5 teams. With he said late December, early January decision date. So we'll see how much that changes, if it does or if it doesn't. But he officially cut Arkansas after last week's debacle.
Happened?
And that's pretty funny. But the graphic, did you see his graphic that he posted on Instagram and Twitter of him in the jerseys?
Yeah, and he was smiling in Kentucky's and nobody else's.
He has a frown in everybody's jersey but the Kentucky one.
I know.
It's actually ridiculous.
Say what you want, but that is hilarious. Even if he picks North Carolina, that's funny.
And the thing that makes it so obvious is that him in the Kentucky uniform is right smack dab in the middle, and he's cheesing. And then every other picture to the side of him, he's just frowning. Especially in the Tennessee uniform, he looked like he hated that one.
Yeah, good decision, young man.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that. But another thing, and I just think this is funny for college basketball, and this is sad on Arkansas fans. Did you see Calipari begging to sell tickets? This isn't me making fun of Calipari. That makes me sad. Like, you all go get a Hall of Fame
coach,
and you can't fill up an arena. And I get it's a big arena. But I get Bud Walton's a solid, size venue, but it is. I know their football team's really, really good, and so they're probably still looking forward to that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So does ours. I'm just saying there's no reason not to be fired up about their basketball team. So I don't know. I find that weird. Or if you're an Arkansas fan, we make fun of y'all a lot. Y'all make fun of us a lot. Go support Coach Calipari.
Yeah, I'm gonna pile on to the Arkansas love right now, but shout out to Adu, man.
He's playing great.
Oh, man. That makes me so happy. He was like my favorite guy on the team.
Yeah.
I loved watching Adu play, but him breaking out is really cool.
Yeah. I want to pull up his – I know he had 23 last night. He's averaging 18.5 points per game right now. But he's also shooting 65% from the field and 36.4% from deep. I mean,
Adu's an NBA player.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's turned himself into an NBA player. Good for him.
Good for Adu.
Yeah, really. Because we are always a pro Adu Theater podcast here.
Mm-hmm.
So with you. That is going to do it for today's show. We will come back at y'all on Thursday with a little something. Carson's leaving a little early for Texas. So we're probably going to record something tomorrow. Probably talk about what happens tonight. Talk maybe a little about Jackson State. Anything else that pops up. That will be what we do for Thursday. Hope everyone has a great rest of their day. Go Cats. Enjoy the game tonight, and we will see y'all next time right here on the Wildcats Today podcast.